everyone, how is it going? This is Danny Boyle 4 here. I know I haven't made a video in over a month. I've just been really busy, and then when I got back from a trip, I got sick, and I am still recovering from that. I have pneumonia and bronchitis, which is not a fun thing. So I'm still recovering that, so sorry if I sound like a dead cow. But here to talk about the Sheridan. And first off, this camouflage, this legendary camouflage. Yes, it was 6,000 gold. Yes, people may call me dumb or ridiculous or nothing's worth 6,000 gold as a camo. And that is true. But to me, this tank right here, this camo and attachments is just, I couldn't say no. It's amazing. The ear necks, the laser, all the attachments, it's an amazing camouflage. Really, really well done. Yes, overpriced, but I don't care. I have 2 masteries, and also hope you guys enjoyed the few little trick shots at the very beginning there. It is possible to do trick shots in this tank. It is a lot harder than T49A was, though. But it can be done, and I'll explain to you how it can be done in a few times. So I have 2 aces in the Sheridan. In these 2 battles, I did not have the legendary camouflage yet. That came out today. So, first up, I'm gonna go with the mediums, of course. And there was not a lot of Sheridans around when this was the day 1, I think. There's not a lot of Sheridans out. But everyone was spamming the T92E1. It is crazy. And I played a little bit of the T92E1. I just free experienced the Sheridan. And it's really hard to do trick shots in the T92. Because the rocket fuel only lasts about 6 seconds, and in the Sheridan it lasts like 10 to 12, something like that. It lasts a lot longer. But you shouldn't be firing rockets a lot. You should only really fire them if you have to. And here's one area where I do use the rockets. I am in no danger of getting shot here, but I can shoot him. Unfortunately, I do bounce because it is kind of hard to aim at that distance. But that's where you can use missiles, and use them effectively if I would have pinned. And people can't shoot you. But if you're up close and you have a guaranteed shot like this, I am not going to use the missile because it's going to take a while to get down there, and I don't need to. I can just use APCR. I'm waiting for him to turn sideways. He turns sideways, and I can shoot him like that. There's no point in using a rocket there. When you're in close right next to somebody, and you can shoot them with APCR, there is no point in using a rocket. There's none. I know you want to shoot them because they look cool, which is fine and all, but that's just a waste of credits and a waste of a shot, really. So use rockets when there's a TD sitting in the back and you're like a one shot or don't want to get shot by him. Shoot the rocket up in the air, bring it around, hit him, and I'll show you guys how to do that here in a minute. Or just go up to the crest of a ridge where you're not quite showing, but you can shoot the rocket over the ridge and hit the tank below you. That is when a rocket becomes its most effective. And people are saying the rocket's overpowered and stuff. Me personally, I do not think they're overpowered. I do think they're very interesting and can be used to deadly effect, but unless you really know what you're doing, you're not going to be effective with them at all. See, the RT-92 there, right there, just missing that shot when he could have used the APCR and would have hit just fine. I think, right now, there's just a ton of missile tanks going around. But I think over time, like with any new tank, it will die down and there won't be as many. I don't think they're overpowered. The Sheridan itself, without missiles, I think maybe a little bit overcooked. People are saying the T9 is overcooked, I don't think so. Sheridan, though, its engine is amazing. It gets up to 65 kilometers an hour extremely fast without issues. And it's a very, very good tank. There I'm using HE because he had 583 hit points, and my average is 560, so I didn't want to low roll. So, you can HE the Tier 9. It does not have spaced armor like the Sheridan, but it is very, very troll armor. It does. It's amazing how troll's armor is. I bounced so many shots in that tank. And same with the Sheridan. Because the Sheridan, though, has spaced armor. So you cannot HE it unless you HE it in the very rear. I'm going to get a good look at it. Not the actual rear, but underneath it. Like below the tracks. or you HE it on the side in between the hole there and the tracks. You can HE it there, but those are very hard to hit. So if you're shooting at a Sheridan, just don't fire HE. It's not going to work. And there, I shouldn't have fired HE, but I did. You can HE the T92 in the side and rear with the Sheridan. I do not run calibrated shells. I run the gun rammer. I just don't run calibrated shells. You can run calibrated if you want. I don't really think it matters a whole lot. Excuse me for being snotty. So now I'm just waiting. I really need to take out the T92 because he is murdering our team, but our T92 does that. And now I'm just going to kill this 183, who really does not know what he is doing at all. But it's a light tank, good camo value, really good speed, good spotting. It is one of my favorite tier 10 tanks. Now, it is a great tank. You should definitely grind it. Because even if you don't want the missiles, you don't have to use the missiles. Missiles, you could just use as normal APC heat for close combat. And just use the tank itself. The tank itself, with just normal shells, is amazing. It really is. 10 degrees of gun depression. The DPM, I don't remember what the DPM is. I'll have to check after this battle, but it is really good. Once you're 100% crew, which I am now, not in this video, in this replay, but in another one, it is down to 13 point something seconds. And right now I'm platooning with Brody Lint, a friend of mine, and we are on Vineyards. And I'm going to go to my favorite spot with any medium or gun depression tank, which is this pathway right here, because usually you can spot their heavies crossing, but I saw the Sheridan there and I did not want to stick up and get shot. And there's the T92 using missiles and missing, because they are really hard to use. It's not T49A moments. It's a lot harder to use. But this is where you use missiles. Fire them over the ridge, and aim at your target, and hit them. That is where missiles are effective. And I was kind of surprised I hit that and pinned it as an E100 at that range. So I'm just gonna wait here, reload. It's kind of like a light tank TD. That's how I see it. And now the standard B, I'm in no danger of getting shot, so I'm just gonna peek up using a normal shell. I did miss though because he went invisible, so that was unfortunate. But still, there's no point using missiles unless you absolutely have to. If you can use APCR, use APCR, because you're gonna be doing the same damage, but you're gonna actually hit. And the rockets, there's no guarantee you're gonna hit. They are unpredictable at times, unless you really know what you're doing. And I am pretty good with the rockets. So now I'm going to take that Yag out, and now I see our bat chat can't really do anything because of their the other Yag, the 210. So I'm going to go up and get behind him. I'm looking, I don't see anyone coming over here. They're all in town, so I'm just going to come up here, peek, and shoot the Yag. And I'm just going to use APCR. There's no point in using heat right now. One thing that I found really interesting though is with most tanks, the heat does less damage than the APCR, because that's how they work. So you don't do the same DPM but have a great pin. The Sheridan is not like that. You have the same damage with your heat as you do APCR, which is really, really good. That's really nice. And there I used a rocket because I couldn't quite get my gun down. I did not want to get shot for 800. He's looking at me, so I might as well just use a rocket. This is when you can use a rocket. Now he's not looking at me. I'm going to use APCR. I'm not going to use a rocket. Rockets are for absolute necessary only. That's how I see it. And that's how you should play. You shouldn't just shoot rockets, because they look cool. Even though they look cool. Didn't see that E100, so I took a shot from him. He has been waiting in that bush for a little while, waiting for me to poke. So now their team's pretty much dead. I'm just going to focus the C100. He's not looking at me. Come up, shoot him in the rear. Again, close combat, using APCR, I can pin. No, you need to use a rocket. And now I'm just going to reload and finish this guy off as soon as I can. I am going to take the Sheridan out, because he's going to drive right in front of me. And APCR. Rockets do bounce a lot on the Sheridans though, because of their spaced armor. The spaced armor is ridiculous. It is overcooked. It really is. So I'm just going to get over here and use APCR, because I can pin. The APCR pin is great. Now I'm trying not to get shot, but my expertise running into a wall. But I did not get shot, so it worked out. And I got an ace, which I actually was kind of surprised I got an ace. I didn't realize how much damage I actually did. And I was one of the first Sheridans when this came out to get it. Like, there wasn't that many, so the ace bar was pretty low. And then we got an ace, 4.4k, 36,000 credits, 1.2 thousand base experience, and 3 kills. Now I'm going to go to the training room real quick and show you a few ways you can use the rockets effectively. I won't have a target, but I can still show you. There are 2 ways of really using the rockets. And one of them is a lot harder to do, and you probably shouldn't do it too often. I just do it because it looks cool, and I know how to do it. So first one, I'm going to go to the ridge. This is where you would mostly be using the rockets like, how you mostly should be using the rockets like. So, say you're on a ridge like this, and, sorry if I'm a bit laggy, there's a tank right over there, okay? You're going to fire over the ridge and aim and hit that tank, and you're in no danger of getting shot. That is the best way. That's when you should be mostly firing rockets. Over little ridges like this, you want to make sure you're not too far down, because if you're too far down, your rocket will hit the ledge right there. So you want to make sure you're just far up enough where you can't get shot, but you can shoot them. And this is the most effective way to use the rockets. Nothing too fancy at all. Now, what I like to do in some circumstances, which this is not the smartest idea, okay, it's just fun. So say there's a TD right there, and instead of shooting over the ridge and shooting the TD, I want to do something fancy. So you're going to aim opposite of the TD, or whatever the tank is you're shooting at. Shoot up, bring your gun slowly all the way around, all the way around, all the way around, and aim at the TD. And your rocket will hit at the TD. But you can't just fire over there and bring it down. It won't work. You have to fire completely opposite direction of where the tank is. So either fire it, bring it all the way around, and I'll aim it right in front of me, and that's where I'll hit. With the Tier 9, you can't really do that because the rocket fuel does not last that long, but in the Sheridan you can, because the rocket fuel lasts quite a bit. And this really shouldn't be used that often, but it can be. And not only is it hilarious, but it is really fun. And I actually did this to a T1104 one game, and one of the clips I showed you at the very beginning, and he was calling me a hacker. It does not always work. As you see, I just hit the bridge there. But if you're in an open area, you can make it work, and it is hilarious. But firing over ridges like this is when your rockets are going to be most effective. If it's not a very steep ridge, you can fire it up and then bring it down to the tank. That wasn't a very good demonstration there, but that's the basis. That's when you should be shooting rockets. Another scenario you can shoot rockets at, say you're driving, the dispersion is really good for this big of a gun, so you may not have to do too much, but if you're driving straight at a tank, say he's right there, and you don't want to risk missing, you can just fire a rocket right into the tank right in front of you, and you'll hit him. That works just fine. If you're driving sideways or circling someone, do not fire rockets, because if you're circling someone, your rocket is going to blatantly miss, because it's very hard to shoot up close. So just use APCR. That's what you should be using rockets for. Those 2 to possibly 3 scenarios is the only time you should really use rockets. Or if you're up close, not moving too fast, and as an E100 or Moss, something you can't pin, that's when you also use the rockets. And that's pretty much the Sheridan right there. You should play it like a light tank, but you also play passive sometimes, because you're a high damage tank. You're like a TD, but you're really fast. That does not mean you should camp. No, not at all. You should be up with other mediums. But if you're isolated against another medium, especially Russian mediums like T62A, OBJ-140, or the WZ-121, which is Chinese, those tanks will destroy you, because you can pin their front, but it is hard because your APCR is not the greatest, and they will just out DPM you like crazy. Same with Leopard 1s and stuff like that. So try not to get in a 1v1 brawl with another medium tank that has more DPM than you, which is most medium tanks, because they will win. You want to play this kind of delicate, kind of smart. You don't have any armor at all. You can bounce shots because of the spaced armor, but you don't want to get in a DPM brawl. You probably aren't going to win. So peek-a-boom shots. Those are what you should do. Crest over hitch, shoot, and back up. That is what this tank is really good at doing. And spotting. So get up front, spot, peek-a-boom, and back up. Because you do 560 alpha. That's really, really good for a light tank. It's amazing. So that's how you should play the tank. And I may have a video on the tier 9. I don't know. I may also have a video on the M60 I want to do. A few others. Like I said, I haven't made a video in a while. Been busy. Been sick like crazy. I'm just kind of starting to get over it after going to the doctor twice now. It's kicking my butt. But thank you all for watching, and have a great day. Bye bye.